Welcome back to the Gen Z in STEM podcast. In today's episode, we talk about something we've lived and breathed for the past 3 years: civil engineering.
I was interested in construction and architecture in general and buildings and how they worked since I was a little kid. So I got really interested from an early age.
I think it just shows how difficult it is to really know what you want to do from the beginning, because it's not.
Why and should you study civil engineering?
We tackled this question with 3 main segments: why we chose to study civil engineering, expectations versus reality, and tips and lessons we learned along the way.
This is the Gen Z in STEM podcast. I'm your host, Marjorie, and I hope you're as excited as I am. Let's get to it. Welcome. Today I'm joined by Kasha and Candela, and we're going to be reflecting on our 3 years because we all studied civil engineering together. And we just finished our thesis and time to reflect. So welcome, guys. Okay. So let's go into why did we choose civil engineering and what led us to go to the Netherlands. Candela, do you want to start?
Yeah, sure. Well, I was interested in construction and architecture in general and buildings and how they worked since I was a little kid, I would say. Because my mom's worked at a somewhat big company with engineering departments, and they organize science camps every year. So I got really interested from an early age. And I came to the Netherlands because I'm originally from Spain, but their engineering is somewhat general at the beginning and has no really that much practical application. And I knew that in the Netherlands it was a bit different how they structured coursework and everything. So I was interested on giving it a try.
Yeah, for me, I think just I was interested in math and physics basically when I was in school. So then I knew that I wanted to go into some kind of engineering. But I was torn between civil engineering and aerospace. So then, in the end, I applied for both, but only civil engineering was available in English in the Netherlands, meaning that in Poland I applied for aerospace. And I preferred going abroad. So that's why I chose Netherlands in the end. I had the backup option in Poland, that was aerospace, but that was only because I thought that finding housing would be really difficult in the Netherlands. But in the end, I found it. So I chose Netherlands because I wanted to study in English and change my environment a bit, because I am from Warsaw, and I knew that if I would stay in Poland, I would stay in Warsaw. So my routine would kind of be the same. And I wanted to go on my own and try different things. And Netherlands, the studies are cheaper than in the UK, for example, and there are a lot of programs that are available in English. So I think from the European Union, it's just the nicest and the easiest country to study abroad. But so civil engineering, it was just a program out of 2. As you guys know, I did have some doubts throughout the studies if that is still the right thing for me or not. So in the end, after the first module, when we started our studies, I still had doubts if I'm doing the right thing, if maybe I should go into aerospace a bit more. So I changed the studies for a week. For a week. But of course, then I don't know. I decided that a week is not, or I mean, the module is not enough to make an enough decision. So I decided to give a year to civil engineering, and in the end, I really liked it. I liked that we were learning about buildings and physics and everything, and it just felt right at that point. But I needed to give it time, so it was nothing that easy for me, as you say, Candela. That from a kid you wanted to, and that you really liked it. Yeah, I was in between. So I think it just shows how difficult it is to really know what you want to do from the beginning, because it's not.
Yeah, true. And we all have different paths. And I like that you went around and you tried different things, even if it was a week. But I think my path is similar more to Candela's, knowing quite early on what I wanted to do. And initially, I wanted to go to England. Brexit, it's kind of expensive. It wasn't gonna happen. So as soon as I knew Brexit was actually gonna happen, I started looking, and then I found UT at 14. I was like, okay, this looks good. I'm going for this.
So,
Has a nice campus and the course, because I knew I wanted to do something with water management or
Mhm.
yeah, water hydraulic engineering since like 14, 15. So then I was like, yeah, I'll stick to this course. Let's hope I can get the grades to get here. And then I did. And then we met
So
Yeah.
in the chicken.
were you one of those kids that had like posters of their future uni in your room?
No, 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 no. I had whiteboards, math whiteboards, and I was writing on the windows, math and stuff. But no, I just, I saved it, I bookmarked it. I was like, okay, told
Hmm.
the counselors, that was it. No posters of the UT, not yet.
Okay.
Yeah. For me,
Yeah.
I have to say that like I also had like as initial idea like the UK or like Scotland and stuff, and I did have like I got in like all the unis that I applied, and like I actually got like a nice scholarship for it, but it was at the end it was undoable. Like I could not afford living there and also paying tuition, and so that's why I ended up uh, investigating the Netherlands, but I did not like I knew kind of like later than you probably, Maya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you end up in Enschede.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I only heard about studying abroad from my close friend because she was really interested in it. And from like 2 years before our final exam, she was already like, oh yeah, Netherlands,
Yeah.
UK, Spain. She was like researching everything. And then we went on
Mhm.
holidays, I think during COVID time. And yeah, she just started talking to me, but I was like, yeah, no, I want to stay in Poland. Like, why would I look for some other options? But yeah, she got me really interested. So after that, I was like, okay, maybe I will look into it. And yeah, once I started, I was like, okay, then I need to do this, and pass the English test and everything. And then it was, yeah, more like a goal that I needed to achieve. But now
Yeah.
I'm really happy with it.
Nice.
Moving to us actually getting here and starting our studies. You guys know my first year was rough, but how was your first year and then second and third in terms of your expectations versus reality?
So I have to say that like my first year was rougher than the second and third year because I felt that like also as an international, you're like trying to get into your place and like meet new people and like actually stick with like the friends that you are, getting attached to and like getting to know people, especially. So at the first module, I had like a really hard time because also I had like a lot of subjects. The project group, I didn't get super lucky with like the people that I had in my group. So I felt that I was like pulling a lot of weight on my own. And so that was like a bit tough, also being homesick and everything. But afterwards, I think that like the more that you start talking to other people that are also experiencing that, and also you start to learn more about the degree and actually specify on like subjects that are more interesting to you, it got better for sure. Like by the end of the first year, I felt like more united with like well, you guys, for example, like our friend group and what I was like studying and like more secure on what I was doing. But I did have like some difficulties at the beginning with like subjects that I didn't completely understand or didn't completely enjoy, and it was a bit tough for me in that case. But then second year came around, and even though it was busy the first half of the year, a bit, I did have like a lot of subjects that I enjoyed a lot, and eventually like I got into a rhythm of like working and enjoying what I was studying and actually also having time to do my own thing on my free time and enjoying doing crafts or anything on my free time. So that was really nice. And third year, I have to say that it was like a nice break from like civil at the beginning because with the minors, I had time to explore other interests and so on. And then with the thesis, I had like a really good opportunity to like do my thesis in like a company and actually get a bit more of the practicality that I wanted to go for. And also working by myself and at my own pace and everything. So I think that in that sense, it was like great to actually get a touch of how the professional field works.
Yeah, I think I kind of agree with you that just at the beginning it was rough because we needed to get used to the new country, to the
Hmm.
people. For me, it was also studying in English. Like I've never done
Yeah.
that. My high school was in Polish, so I think that's what I was the most scared of. That I'm just not gonna grasp it and I'm gonna struggle with terminology or whatever. But yeah, in the end, I think you get used to it quite easily, and that I don't know, the words and everything just came to me. And once you used it so often, then it got natural. But yeah, so getting used to for sure, just like how it works. how our tests looked like and everything. And then, yeah, for me, just making sure that it is the right idea as well, or like the right path. Um, but yeah, I definitely enjoyed second year the most. I think it was because of the subjects we had, although not not every module was that great. Because, for example, I'm not a fan of water, so the first module of the second year was really rough, definitely. But the others I really enjoyed. I like the we had a project about smart bridges in Amsterdam. That was a really cool one. I think that we needed to look at every aspect of it, and that it was also in the city in the Netherlands. So I think, yeah, it looked or like seemed more practical than others. And third year, yeah, I went for the study abroad. I went to Rome for a half year. Yeah, I'm not sure what to say about that. I don't regret it, but that made me realize how much I actually like studying in the Netherlands. So that was definitely insightful. And that's why, yeah, I continued here for sure.
Nice. Yeah, personally, first year was a rough ride. But I think it's also because the first year you have a BSA, so you need to pass what,
Yeah.
45 that year. It used to be 40, but then 45 out of 60 ECs. So there's definitely that pressure, and then knowing like if that's the thing you do want to do, like in life, if you fail that first year, you can't do the study where you like for 3 years. That was a huge pressure for me that first year, and I think yeah, with the kicking and stuff, the first module I was slacking a bit, and then quickly, yeah, there you have it. 8 ECs have been failed, and then I'm like, oh, okay, I need to pass everything. So yeah, I was really like studying a lot and trying to find that balance between actually having a student life and putting in the work to pass these courses. But then when the first year was done and then I had passed, then it was nice. I could actually enjoy the courses more. Um, Second year was also, yeah, like more for me, more water topics. So that was nice. Not traffic. I don't like traffic. But yeah, and then third year, yeah, the most relaxing for sure. Also because I took like a module vacation. But just doing a minor and then being able to, yeah, just work on one case also in a company, it was really cool to just be able to like see what it's like to work in the engineering like consultancy, and yeah, work on your own project. So that was really cool. But then for all of us, we're studying abroad. And how was that experience of going abroad? And did that match up to our expectations also in terms of student life?
Yeah, to be honest, I love student life in the Netherlands. Maybe it's only the Enschede. I'm not sure because I heard that, yeah, we are, I think, the only university that has such a big campus and so many study associations and sport associations. So I think I can only talk about Enschede. But I really love it here. Like the fact that you can join so many things and it can be either, yeah, from your program. So you can go more in depth and join some lectures or go to companies for excursions. But then you also have the sport associations. Yeah, I am a part of the volleyball one. And that just gave me so many activities and so many opportunities to meet new people and spend time. So that was definitely amazing. And yeah, as a comparison, I guess in Poland, it's just not there. Like mostly you would study in a bigger city. So then, of course, the distances are bigger. So I think even like meeting with people, it's just more difficult. This is what I experienced in Rome. I think that we all lived apart. So it was like, okay, we can meet, but then it would take each of us an hour to get somewhere. So that definitely made it more difficult. And I think that's what's easy about Enschede, that it's like, okay, 15 minutes on your bike and you're everywhere. So then, yeah, you can just go to a bar, go, yeah, play some sports or whatever. So I really love it there. And I think also when people visit me, they are just amazed by it. They are like, whoa, like this is how it can look like. And I think this is more of an American vibe that we have there.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like in Madrid, it's also like that. Like it's a bigger city and you have like a lot of unis, but student life, I think it's just like not that many associations. Like you can join them, but like there's not much information on them, or like you have to go into a really specific place to get information. So then people are discouraged from doing that. And here you have like a lot of information about like, oh, if you want to go to the pool in the uni or even other place, like you also get like a lot of places in which you get like student discount and you can go to study or like hang out with friends and everything. And that's also really nice. And there's also a lot of like active campus life, I think, in the UT. Because same as you, I cannot speak for other cities in the Netherlands, but the UT does have like, it feels like its own little city because you have Enschede and the UT so close by, and there's a lot of things going on in both. But then it feels like in the UT there's always something going on too, like with the student houses, like parties or activities or like cultural activities, like I don't know, workshops of making candles or anything. So I think that it does have like a big influence on how you experience uni as like an international student.
Yeah.
I just wanted to add that even like me and Candela once joined like cuddle with dogs activities. Like
Yeah,
there are just
that was
so
so
many
fun.
different things, and I think every day if you would want to find something, you would.
Hmm. For sure.
Yeah, that's true. There's so much
Yeah.
going on. Yeah, but I was saying, yeah, like personally, like I've lived in very big cities like Panama City, Buenos Aires, like these huge cities. So, and I'm not necessarily a city girl. So being able to come to Enschede and be able to like, yeah, I don't have so much nature. The campus is really nice, really big and all that, but also having activities like wakeboarding, which we do like at the lake close to here. It's just crazy to have all these activities. And I think it's really relaxing. Actually, in first year, I didn't have as many of these activities as in second and third. And I think it definitely like amplifies the student experience, I'd say. And then in our year, like, and during our experience, what is maybe the biggest lessons you've learned from CE? And it doesn't necessarily have to be like studies related. I mean, yeah, I can start for this one. So for me, the the biggest thing was actually like asking for help and reaching out if needed, personally, especially that first year. So yeah, at the start I was hesitant, but then I learned that there was actually like yeah, like counselors, teachers, and many people that are there to help you. And especially UT, that is not necessarily like 300 people in like your course, or at least for CE that wasn't the case. And even if it was, I even reached out to math teachers to help, and they were ready to, give you extra support if needed. And that personally really like, yeah, helped me in my studies. So making sure to, yeah, be vocal and just reach out to the people in your community around you.
Mhm. Yeah, in my case, I think that there was like a few things that were like really big lessons of that allowed me to grow. First of all, having like really good work-life balance, because at the beginning I was not quite grasping that, especially during the first modules in which like I had just come there, didn't have like a really like I have friends, but I was not super close to them, so I was like a bit unsure whether like I can go for this or like just like say, oh, do you want to go study together? I didn't really occur to me that much. So like at the beginning it was a bit tough and I was like overdoing it and felt a bit more burnout by the time that like winter came. So then like from then on I started to like also try to, well, be more organized on how I studied and how I tackle my studies, but also trying to also not work in excess and be also fine with reaching like a satisfactory level, because sometimes you just cannot go for like a 10 for everything. So yeah. And then something that was also really important to me was like becoming more assertive, because during high school and when I was younger, I was like quite more of a people pleaser, I would say. And I would be a bit more, maybe more shy about like sharing my opinions on something, or if I felt like something was wrong, I would be like, it would take me a bit hard to actually bring it up. But then I feel that like as women engineering, sometimes you get like underestimated by like maybe teachers, maybe like some teammates or like whatever. Usually in my case, it was like with some peers that were like guys and didn't feel like, oh, because I was a girl, I could not do this or do that. And with that, I felt that like saying, oh yeah, no, like that's completely wrong, and like actually standing out to them is important. And yeah, like also being more assertive of like, oh yeah, no, I'm happy to be in this space, I am allowed to be in this space, and I am doing good in this space, let's say, it's also important to also reassure yourself with this. Mhm.
Do you think that is changed in our next years that then men were not seeing us as okay, you go do like the soft skills? Like do you think that it improved or it stayed the same?
I am not so sure, because like I don't have to say that like in the first year we well, we all experienced this. We had like more mixed groups in which like we couldn't really choose. And then like from then onwards, you could like choose a bit more who you like interacted with or like who you teamed up with. So then obviously you don't team up with someone that like you know that is gonna be a bit, skeptical about your skills, let's say. I guess that like there will always be to some extent some bias, but I think that the fact that we all passed and continued to be there and like continue to be like getting good grades and like doing good in their studies in general, it really was like yeah, no, they deserve to be there, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, I also think so. Um, yeah, for me, I think I also agree with the point of being assertive and yeah, setting boundaries or like showing that no, I can do it. For me, I think it was mostly that I had really high expectations, and I think that's fine. But then, yeah, some people in your team didn't have the same, and that was all right.
Yeah.
And then I think I sometimes wanted to take like extra work on me and to do it, yeah, to my level of satisfaction or whatever. But then at some point I was like, okay, like maybe I shouldn't because it is, yeah, our team project. Then like our grades are divided the same. So I shouldn't take more work on me so that other people can do less. So it was more like, okay, like we just, yeah, really try to do it as a group and we see how it ends up. Of course, sometimes it can be a bit frustrating. Yeah, if you don't get the grade you wanted. But yeah, I think I learned that that's fine and that if I got something out of it except for a grade. But yeah, even my, I don't know, that I was, yeah, like more calm about it or not stressed or, not overworked, that it was still fine.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Yeah, I love what you're saying about that. The expectations. How, for instance, how they make the groups. They'd be like, okay, so what is your expectation? And then you put like very high, and you're like, okay, so we'll probably be with other people who have very high expectations. Nope, let's mix it all
No.
up because balance in a group and different profiles are interesting, and it's real life.
Yeah,
Well,
that was
Yeah,
great.
really, yeah, that was a bit of a struggle, I think, at the beginning, especially because like
it was a
when
struggle.
you come just like to the Netherlands and then you are adapting to everything and suddenly you have like someone that like is not working at all, or like it feels like they don't take it seriously or anything, because like it's not even like about like, oh, like reaching for a different gate. Like some people just don't want to put in the efforts. That's a bit more frustrating, I would say.
Yeah, for me, I think it was surprising how in the Netherlands, Dutch people could really separate their weekdays and
Yeah.
weekends. Like during the weekends, they were just off, like completely. And I'm not saying it's wrong. Like actually, it's good. They are like keeping their balance. Maybe they are doing everything in the weekday. But then, yes, sometimes we were just, I don't know, far behind with the project or some assignment or whatever. And then I would work on the weekends and they would just not be reachable at all.
Yeah.
And that would frustrate me a lot. Uh, but yeah, then now I think like, okay, that's kind of good. Like I would want to learn it, but I'm not there yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same.
No,
Yeah.
that things like water and eating like having a meeting during lunchtime because then
Yeah.
you get it done in the week and then the weekend they're off. Just
Yeah.
different and adapting, I guess. But yeah. And I think we've already mentioned this a bit, like, but do you have any additional tips, for instance, for either your past self as you were entering, like, you were about to start, that you could give yourself, or maybe to future students?
For me, I think like, yeah, if I could do something different, let's say, then I was really scared of presenting. Like at first and throughout the whole studies, I think. And that's why, yeah, I didn't want to do it. So when we had like project groups of like 5 people, there would always be someone that would just say, oh yeah, it's not a problem for me, I can do it. And then that's why I didn't try it. And I think that, yeah, I could have done it differently because I think I would get used to it maybe quicker. And then in the end, only in Rome, when I was there, we had a lot of projects and everyone needed to present. So I think throughout like 5 months, I presented like 5 times. And at that point, I was like, okay, like it's not scary anymore. I think it's all right. So I think I just could have done it earlier. And then, yeah, it would be just a new skill that I would add at the beginning of my studies. So just, I think my tip would be that, okay, even if you're scared, like do it and it's gonna get easier.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like for me, it was not presenting per se, I would say, but like sometimes when you're like working in a team and stuff, I think that like you have to set clear boundaries of what you want and what you're trying to aim to get and stuff. So then you're on the same page, and then you don't get frustrated or as disappointed, because like it's also more realistic, because you're, as an engineer, you also are going to, like, you're bound to work with more people in the future. So I think that that would be like a lesson that I've learned, and everybody should like probably think about when they start engineering, because it's bound to happen, and you're always gonna get frustrated with some teammate and everything. So then also don't take it too hard on yourself, because it's also not your whole responsibility to do everything. I think that that's an important thing to learn.
Yeah. And I think mine is kind of like yours, Candela, but not even just team, but on your own. Like especially at first year when you're just doing like courses. I mean, of course you want to 10, and then well, I personally, put a lot of pressure on myself. But at the end, it was even just to pass. But like just to make it perfect, and and that yeah leads to stress, I guess. So maybe be nice on yourself and realize that if you put more pressure, then might lead to more stress, and maybe you can be a bit more chill about it, and take it a calmer route. But yeah, okay. And now in our in our year and stuff like that, well, we've had many different experiences together, courses, also trips. But what was your favorite topics and moments in the study?
For me, I really liked second year too, like Kasha. And it was especially like the sustainability parts that I enjoyed the most. In fact, like I went with my thesis through like sustainability topics and life cycle assessment, which I'm really interested about. And I plan to dive deeper on that on my further studies. And then I also really liked the area development module, because I felt that like I could get like some practicality of like how cities work. And then when I'm walking through the streets and or like in in my own city and everything, I'm like, I understand why this was done or so on, or like, oh, maybe you would do this differently and so on. So I think that those were like the things that I liked the most. But like anything construction related, I enjoyed a lot, to be fair.
I think me and Candela, yeah, had interest in like similar things. So
Yeah.
then I also really liked the area development project. I think it was really nice that we had the excursion to the city, even though the weather was not good on the day, that day. But it was nice that we could meet with the municipality. They kind of showed us around, and that was more of a practical thing that we did. Because I think, I expected that, for example, we would have more of the excursions throughout the 3 years, and we didn't have that much. That's the sad part, I think. But that I also really liked. I liked the Blue Nile project, even though that was connected to water. I really liked that it was located in Ethiopia, and that kind of showed me how complex civil engineering projects are, because we needed to look at all of the stakeholders, how they are impacted. That it was, I don't know, the government wanted something, I don't know, the money or the people that were affected that needed to relocate. And I think before I was just not really aware of that. I was just like, yeah, okay, there is a free site, you build something and it's done. But in the end, there are just so many connections and people you need to talk to. So I think that's what I enjoyed about it.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, I also enjoyed Blue now because it is related to water, but
Yeah.
also the area development. It was interesting because in all these projects, you had many people working on different parts of the project, and in that, I worked on the water part. Surprise, shocker. But then I could look at water development plans and what is needed when you integrate it with, like urban redevelopment, and I think that's also really interesting. So no, yeah, there's many different tracks you can go into. But then other than that, I really enjoy our trip too, our trip to in between modules, and also I went on a ski trip later on. So those times off with people from your course, those are also fun too.
Yeah. To be honest, I also really liked the like practical thing when we were doing concrete.
Oh
Like
yeah,
that
Yeah,
was
that
so
was really
cool.
fun.
The fact that it was just our first module, and then we could play with rocks and cement for a bit.
Yeah.
but to
Like,
get to
oh
the lab, that was
yeah.
like because you had to be specific, and you actually had to for it to be
Oh, of course. Yeah, it
proper
was tough.
concrete.
Yeah.
Oh, the green light on that one.
I had like our group had so many red lights. It was a bit embarrassing at the point, but it was really fun. And eventually, like the concrete blocks were really nice and like got tested and were like still going strong, let's say. And I got it back to Madrid. So like I did really like the concrete part, I would say.
Yeah, no, that
Yeah,
was cool. And I think that's what I missed, that we didn't have
yeah.
more like practical things. Like I know we had like water
The water
labs.
one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, but then we were mostly just like observing and not really making something. So I
yeah,
definitely liked that part.
Yeah.
yeah, true. But then maybe it's the nature of civil engineering. It's like because you have these, but I mean, it's true. And I think they integrated more labs after for structural mechanics, so you can actually see how things bend, which is nice for the future. Not for us.
But yeah, going back to like the trips that you mentioned, I think that doing trips with you guys and like other friends from uni and everything was really like trust building, let's say, and also really nice because we could like take a break from our studies and like actually get to know people and like each other better outside this study itself. And I think that that was like a really good experience and fun.
Definitely. All right. So pretty much in this podcast, well, it was created to highlight women in STEM, and yeah, there was a focus in first year, or first season on more people navigating STEM studies. Then it went more to as well as just incredible entrepreneurs and leaders of change in the STEM world. And currently, there's more women in STEM, like us, who are studying in STEM fields more than before. But there's still this big issue of women not staying in STEM, or more so diverging and not being given opportunities to stay in this like technical side of STEM. So we did, well, yeah, I shone a light on some of the amazing women in the sector, but there's still a lot to do. So back to us, and what this leads us and where we're going next. Are we continuing in STEM, and what's our future? What's your plans for the future in terms of your studies?
Yeah, personally, I'm going to continue in STEM. And right now, I'm moving from Enschede to The Hague to study in Delft. So now I'm going to pursue my master's in environmental engineering because, yeah, like the sustainability part of our studies was like really interesting to me. And then I will dig deeper in the heat island effect as Kasia studied in her thesis and like waste management and circularity, which I think are really important for the industry itself. But yeah, like definitely interesting. And also with my thesis, I was able to like actually publish it as an article. So that's something that like has really inspired me to like maybe see whether I would like actually want like higher studies. I'm not really sure if I wanna pursue later than the master's anything. But like I will definitely for now I'm continued in STEM. So yeah.
So you would
All right.
consider a PhD.
I have to see, but like right now, I would not be sure, but like it has been definitely like editing my article into like an article for a journal has been really an interesting experience to like actually see how it works, how it gets reviewed, and everything. So yeah.
Hmm.
So I am also continuing with STEM. I will stay in Enschede at the UT because I swear I already fell in love with this university, and yeah, now I I tried other universities how they work, and now I just know that I really like the way they teach, the way the uni life is and everything. So I am continuing with the civil engineering and management master program. And then there are a few tracks. I didn't choose definitely one, but I think I will choose the sustainability and resilience one. Since yeah, my thesis project focused on the green blue infrastructure to reduce the heat stress, and I really enjoyed that part. So yeah, just even as we saw during our studies, like the modules I enjoyed the most were focused on that sustainability part. But yeah, I know that I can choose some other minors or like other courses. So we will see what I will dive deeper into. But that's mostly what I will focus on.
Okay. Yeah, and yeah, for me, well, I also yeah staying in STEM. I actually first saw the like masters before I saw the bachelors at UT, and yeah,
You are
yeah.
already
So
aiming for master. You are
Yeah,
like
yeah,
there.
yeah, for
yeah, yeah.
sure.
So I'll be choosing that master, which is more in water, hydraulics, river and coastal engineering, and yeah, hopefully working more with yeah river profiles, flooding and stuff like that. So Yeah, I'm excited.
But to be honest, it's crazy for me how you knew before not only the program, so like civil engineering, but also like, okay, I like the water part. Like
Yeah.
like the fact that you thought about it before, okay, but the fact that I also stayed that way, like I
Yeah,
think it's really
because
nice. So impressive.
yeah, because I feel that there's like a lot of people that started enjoying some part of civil and then they dived deeper into it and didn't really like it. So it's really amazing
Oh,
that you stick with water, you know? That's really nice.
yeah. Yeah, maybe like I'm gaslighting myself. I don't know, but no, I I no, but I got introduced to it through a project in high school that was kind of touching upon water management and just coastal protection and stuff like that. And so then I started, looking a bit more into it already in high school, sometimes like articles or just things in general. So then when I got here, I was like, finally, like no more, well, not
Yeah.
history, but like no more unrelated English thing that I have to do, and I can actually like dive into, water and traffic and construction. But yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's the thing, that if you knew already which parts you liked, that you also needed to go through the parts you didn't like.
True.
Yeah.
Because for us, yeah, we were just trying out things. So it
Discovering it.
was
Yeah.
mostly just like, okay, let's do this. We're gonna see how it works. And you already kind of knew, okay, I like this. And you only had like what, 2 modules from 8, let's say, during our
Yeah.
first and second year. And then the rest was not really, yeah, in your interest.
Yeah, true. But well, compared to, so in France, you usually do like prépa, which is like essentially just math, physics, and not even really touching on water at all. So I was like, well, this is a
Hmm.
compromise. At least I get to do a bit of it now. And what's nice is that even if it's construction or traffic, well, traffic less, but construction, you still have parts that are either water or sustainability, which is still kind of interesting,
Mhm.
or, so at the end it was okay. Yeah. But yeah. All right. Well, thank you for joining me today on the podcast for a wrap up, and yeah, best of luck in your future careers.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Although this is the end of us sharing these stories, we still need you. May you talk, and I'll keep transmitting the message of women in STEM and carry the beacon. As more than ever, the message stays relevant. We need you in STEM, our change makers, pioneers, and inspirations now and for years to come. Thank you to all the guests for sharing their knowledge, and you listeners for tuning in. On that note, I'm Maya Druin, and this has been the Gen Z in STEM podcast.